Entitled Aunt and Uncle, how dare you make your daughter your successor? Our son deserves that job. My boyfriend's father recently announced that he plans to retire in a few months and hand over the reins of his company to his right hand, his daughter, and my boyfriend's sister, Shania, name changed. She has been working with him for over a decade and has played a pivotal role in growing the company. She's an astute business person, and everyone agrees that she's the ideal candidate for the job. Everyone except boyfriend's paternal uncle, entitled uncle, and his wife, entitled aunt. When they heard about this, they were horrified. How dare his brother put a woman in charge of his business? How could they overlook their son, who was obviously more qualified for the job by virtue of having a penis? They didn't say it in so many words, but this is pretty much the gist of it. The uncle's son was denied a job at the company years ago on account of his erratic behavior and general assholery. Back then, the uncle insisted that his son should just be handled a cushy job at the company simply because he was family. Now the uncle had the gall to expect his brother to make him in charge of the company when he steps down. His reasoning is that only a man should inherit the family business and that it just wasn't a woman's place. The uncle actually seemed way more upset about his niece getting the job than he was about his son not getting it. He and his wife kept repeating the same nonsense about how it was a huge mistake to put a woman in charge when male members of the family were available. Boyfriend's dad tried to explain them why Shania was suitable for the job and the entitled uncle and entitled aunt's sons wasn't. However, it was notoriously difficult to reason with bigoted shitheads. They refused to listen and actually suggested that boyfriend's dad take their son under his wing and teach him. Because he's so smart and he can learn really fast, he will run the company way better than Shania, you'll see. Also, since your son, my boyfriend, isn't man enough to be your heir, you should give our son a chance. They kept making ridiculous arguments like, what about when she gets married, she'll change her surname? My boyfriend's dad tried to explain to them that whether she gets married and changes her surname or not is entirely her decision. And if she does, how on earth would it affect her business acumen and leadership skills? When my boyfriend's dad and sister shut them down, they changed tactics. Yesterday evening, boyfriend received a call from his aunt. She went on an insane rant about how my boyfriend's dad didn't know what he was doing. She then tried to provoke my boyfriend. She told him since he was the son, it was his natural right to succeed his father and he shouldn't let his sister rob him of it. My boyfriend told her to never dial his number again and hung up. These assholes knew very well that my boyfriend has never been interested in his dad's business, but I guess since their son wasn't getting to run the company, they decided to provoke a feud between my boyfriend and his sister. Because they're the kind of sad, bitter little shits who just cannot see other people happy. Entitled family calling my 9-year-old daughter fat and worthless. I lost it. Okay, for some background, I'm a father of a 9-year-old girl who's my whole world. Her mother and I split up 3 months after her birth when I found out she had been cheating. Naturally, I got a DNA test and thankfully she was mine. Problem is, her mother doesn't care about her health. She feeds her whatever she wants and even gives her coffee and donuts for breakfast sometimes. It's a mess. I've called CPA and the police in the past for wellness checks, but it gotten me nowhere. So since she was about 4, she had a weight issue. Now on to today's story that happened about an hour ago. Cost: EK1 entitled kid 1, EK2 entitled kid 2, EM entitled mother, ED entitled father, MD my little girl, me. So my daughter is aware she's overweight. She's teased constantly at school, so I've made it a habit to visit her at least 3 times a week each week for lunch, as she always asks me to come so she can eat lunch in peace from the bullies. This weekend was her weekend with me and she's taking a liking to basketball, which I think is great, and she asked me this morning to go to the park down the road in our community to shoot some baskets with her. Of course, I say yes and we go. When we get there, I park and immediately notice 2 kids, EK1 and 2, sitting at one of those park tables, cussing and throwing a basketball back and forth at each other. I pay them no mind and we walk up to the court that isn't being used. I also noticed two adults who end up being out entitled parents, about mid-30s, sitting on a park bench about 30 feet away, smoking and messing around on their phones. We start shooting and she's having fun when I hear it. EK1. Get the hell out of this court, fat ass. We were about to use it and you're too fat to play anyways. Look, you can't even make a shot. My daughter is 9 and still learning, mind you. EK2. Yeah, maybe go home and use a treadmill. They both start laughing. Now, they said this with me right in front of them, and I'm pissed. I'm a big guy, about 6'1", 190 pounds, and unlike others, I don't like confrontation, but I'm not scared to engage if necessary. Me. Okay, first off, both of you kids, watch your damn mouth and do not insult my daughter again. You really think that's okay? Insulting someone on something so sensitive and think it's a laughing matter? Your parents are doing something wrong. That's when the parents, who were still at the bench, hear me and join in on the fun. For them at least. EM. Who the hell do you think you are? Why are you yelling at my sweet boys? ED. Yeah, you better watch what you say, dude. Me. Your precious boys are standing here insulting my daughter and calling her fat. You two really think that's okay? To insult a child younger than them over something she's already bullied about at school? We're here trying to get some exercise in and play some basketball and just have fun. I don't need to deal with you and your little punk ass boys insulting her. Entitled mom looks at me without blinking. Like what I just said was the specials at a restaurant. EM. So what's wrong with what they said? Look at her. She's fat, isn't she? They're being honest. She shouldn't be here. What the F? ED. Yeah, they're doing her a favor, she's just embarrassing herself. I mean, look at her. Then they all start laughing. Literally, 2 teens and 2 adults laughing at my little girl while she's standing behind me and trying so hard not to cry. I lost my shit. Me. Alright, listen, you two, pointing at the parents, are fucking trash. So they're being honest and that's okay? Alright, fine, here's some honesty. Your sons are punk-ass bullies, and I promise you eventually another kid will stand up for themselves and knock their teeth out. I, as a normal adult, fucking despise bullying. You both are shit parents, thinking what your kids are doing is acceptable. ED. Watch what you say to my wife and sons. Your daughter is fat. Deal with it. MD. Yeah, and you are a mean man, and you shouldn't say these things to people. She's crying, and I'm pissed and even more upset at this. Me. Watch what I say? Or what but? What are you going to do about it? You and your perfect little family seem to think honesty is alright no matter what form, so I'm telling you, you're all just bullies. And unlike my daughter, I'm an adult and I won't put up with any more of your bullshit. Especially if any of you say another word to my daughter, I swear you'll regret it. I was maybe 3 inches from the father's face when I said this. Looking back, maybe I shouldn't have said you'll regret it, but I was pissed and in protection mode. Edie just stares at me without moving for about 10 seconds with me not moving. Me, we're not leaving. My daughter just wanted a fun day at the park and I won't tolerate another negative word said against her. Test me if you want. Edie and EM look at each other before finally EM scoffs, EK1 and EK2, let's go. We're going home. They begin walking away down the street towards the house. I'm watching them most of the way because I had a feeling they would say something else, and I was right, sadly. When they're about 100 or so feet down the street, the dad yells, "Have fun with your fat daughter, punk," and they hurry their walk. I start running after them. I was done and not putting up with this anymore when I hear my daughter in a calm voice. MD, Daddy, just let them leave. Now we can play alone. She's smiling now and I can tell she's right. She just wants to have this all be over with. Me. Alright, sweetie. Wanna play horse? MD. Yeah, you go first and thanks for sticking up for me, Daddy. I'm so sick of bullies. Me. Always, hon. And I know. Don't worry. Let's just have fun. I'll always be there to help you when I can. I give her a hug. We had a good time for the next hour shooting hoops and then went home. The louder you scream, the longer you get to watch me eat this cookie. I'm sitting in a doctor's office waiting room while a family member is being seen. Headphones in, doodling in a notebook. nibbling on an oversized chocolate chip cookie. A woman and her maybe 3-year-old daughter sit a few seats away from me, and the kid immediately starts screaming, "Cookie!" at the top of her lungs repeatedly. I turn my music up and try to tune it out until the lady leans over and yanks an earbud out of my ear. I let out a "what the fuck" because it caught on my earring and hurt like hell and surprised me. I just sat through a 5-minute lecture about how I should use that language in the presence of a child and how ashamed of myself I should be and what do I have to say for myself. Meanwhile, the kid is oblivious and still just screaming, "Cookie, cookie." I told her that I wouldn't have used that language had she kept her hands off my property and not caused me pain by almost ripping my earring out of my skin. "Well, you are going to give my daughter your cookie to make up for being so foul in front of her." And she reaches into my lap to grab my cookie. I push her hand away because the cookie was in a paper bag between my legs, so she was literally grabbing at my crotch. And I tell her she can buy her own damn cookie, and if she reaches for me or my items again, she's getting reported for harassment. The receptionist, who has been watching all of this, finally speaks up and says she's willing to call the police if I would like and back up my statement. I don't feel like dealing with that, and it seemed to calm down the mom, so now I'm sitting here listening to my music and taking the smallest bites possible and acting like this is the most amazing thing I've ever eaten while making eye contact with her. She's glaring at me and keeps telling her kid the mean lady won't share her cookie, and I'm going to make them watch me enjoy eating this for as long as possible. Side note, who the hell takes food from a random stranger to give it to their kid? What if this was unedible? What if I had medicine in it? How are people so stupid and irresponsible? So those were the stories for today's video. If you enjoyed this and want to watch more videos, then click here for more stories, or go check out the info cards in the right corner for more videos.